3.6 Buoyancy. We already saw that a body experiences an upward force due to the fluid surroundings when it is partially or fully immersed into it. We also know that pressure is more at the bottom and less at the top of the liquid. This pressure difference causes a force on the object and pushes it upward. This force is called buoyant force, and the phenomenon is called buoyancy. Figure 3.11. Most buoyant objects are those with a relatively high volume and low density. If the object weighs less than the amount of water it has displaced, density is less. Buoyant force will be more and it will float. Such object is known as positively buoyant. But if the object weighs more than the amount of water it has displaced, density is more. Buoyant force is less and the object will sink. Such object is known as negatively buoyant. This is figure 3.11 buoyant force. Car Cartesian diver. Cartesian diver is an experiment that demonstrates the principle of buoyancy. It is a pen cap with clay. The Cartesian diver constants just enough liquid that is barely floats in the bath of the liquid. Its remaining volume is filled with air. When brushing the bath, the additional water enters the diver, thus increasing the average density of the diver, and thus it sinks. Archimedes principle. Archimedes principle is the consequence of physical law. According to legend, Archimedes devised the principle of the hydrostatic balance. After he noticed his own apparent loss in weight while sitting in his bath. The story goes that he was so enthusiastic with his discovery that he jumped out of his bath, ran through the town, shooting Erika. Archimedes' principle states that a body immersed in a fluid experience a vertical upward botany force equal to the weight of the fluid displaced. In a body partially or completely immersed in a fluid at rest, it experiences an up, upthrust which is equal to the weight of the fluid displayed by it. Due to the upthrust acting on the body, it is apparently loses a part of its weight, and the apparent loss of weight is equal to the upthrust. Figure 3.13. Upthrust is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced. Thus, for a body either partially or completely immersed in a fluid, upthrust equals weight of the fluid displaced equals apparent loss of weight of the body. Apparent weight of an object equals true weight of an object in air minus upthrust weight of water displaced. 3.8. Loss of flotation. Loss of flotation are the weight of a floating body is a fluid is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the body. Second, the center of the gravity of the floating body and the center of the buoyancy are in the same vertical line. The point through which the force of buoyancy is supposed to act is known as center of buoyancy. It is shown in figure 3.14. Figure 3.14, center of the buoyancy. Points to remember. The force which produces compression is called thrust. Its SI unit in Newton. Thrust acting normally to a unit area of a surface is called pressure. Its SI unit is physical. The pressure extended by the atmospheric gases on its surroundings and on the surface of the earth is called atmospheric pressure. One atm is the pressure extended by a vertical column of mercury of 76 centimeter height. Barometer is an instrument used to measure atmospheric pressure. The upward force experienced by a body when partially or fully immersed in a fluid is called upthrust or buoyant force. Cartesian diver is an experiment which demonstrates the principle of buoyancy and the ideal gas law. Physical law states that an increase in pressure at any point inside a liquid at rest is transmitted equally and without any change in all directions to every other point in the liquid. Archimedes' principle states that when a body is partially or wholly immersed in a fluid, it experiences an upthrust or apparent loss of weight, which is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the immersed part of the body. Density is known as mass per unit volume of a body. Its SI unit is kilogram m power by minus 3. Relative density is the ratio between the density of a substance and density of water. Relative density of a body is a pure number and has no unit. Hydrometer is a device used to measure the relative density of liquids based on the Archimedes principle. Lactometer is a device used to check the purity of milk by measuring its density using Archimedes principle. Thank you for all my friends.